It's can time, baby.
Sous aucun prétexte, je ne veux avoir de réflexe malheureux. Il faut que tu m'expliques un peu mieux comment te dire adieu.
Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome back to Fantasy Filmball. My name's Matt, and I'm here at the Cannes Film Festival. Back for my third year, and if you've been following the channel, you know that I've been doing these videos, vlogging, telling about my experience, talking about the movies that I'm watching. My first year at the festival, I saw 32 movies, and 7 of those movies I thought were like 10 out of 10, fantastic. Last year, I was a little bit of a harsher critic. So I'm curious where this year's gonna land. Is it gonna be a big, good year for me? Am I gonna be a little bit more disappointed? We'll have to see over the next 12 days of movies. This year, my schedule allows for about, I think, 52 films at the moment, in addition to parties and meetings, because I'm also here. I'm not just here as press, I'm also here as a film festival programmer, and I'm also here as a producer. So I'm doing a lot during the festival, and I hope to bring you along on as much of that as I possibly can. So that means not just movie reviews, but a little bit of a capsule of the festival experience. That also means if you have any questions, if you want to know anything about the festival, if you want to see any part of the festival, just let me know in the comments. I will try to answer any and all questions possible. I feel like I should say my most anticipated film of the festival at this point. All of a sudden, my prediction for the Palme d'Or is Minotaur. But with all that said, I'm starting today off, and frankly, it's the only thing that I'm doing today. Pan's Labyrinth, they're doing a 20th anniversary screening with a talk from Guillermo del Toro. So that is the opening film for me. I'm not going to the opening film tonight. I have no interest in The Electric Kiss. So instead, I'm starting off with Pan's Labyrinth, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a film that really means a lot to me. I think it was one of the first non-English language films that I'd ever seen. Probably the second one after Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. What a great way to start off, hopefully, a great festival. Also throwback to TIFF a few years ago when Guillermo del Toro gave my mom a smooch. That was weird, but that's part of the lore of the channel at this point. But anyways, I'm gonna go and line up for Pan's Labyrinth. We're sitting here before Pan's Labyrinth starts. This is Pierre-Alexandre. He's going to be on the channel quite a bit. He's rooming with us this year. He is a part of the community and everything, plays the game. So Pierre-Alexandre, I wanna know, what is your most anticipated film at Cannes this year?
I'll say Minotaur.
Okay.
Because I liked the only movie that I saw of J. himself, and because it's supposed to be a remake of a Chabrol film that I haven't seen either, but the project is surrounded in mystery, so that entices me.
And what's your Palm pick?
Minotaur.
Same here.
I heard things that they're very confident in the movie, at least from the distribution company here. They're very confident in it.
Wow. Out of Pan's Labyrinth, heading to the Airbnb with Pierre-Alexandre. And I mean, what can I say after Pan's Labyrinth? It's Pan's Labyrinth, one of my favorite movies of all time. Ultimately though, the effects of having been awake for a very long time now did hit me. I've seen the film like 5 times, so drifting off a bit didn't really affect the experience for me. But, you know, every 5 minutes or so I was doing the head snap thing. But you know, I feel like this was a good movie to start with, so that I'm not doing that in a movie that I've never seen. But Del Toro came, he gave some lovely, lovely words. He cried a bit at the end during a standing ovation. Very nice way to start the festival, setting a mark of quality that is going to be difficult to reach. I don't know if any film in the past 2 years would have reached that mark of quality. It's a difficult standard to set right off the bat, but still, I love the movie. Very happy to have seen it here. And now we're just about to get into the Airbnb whenever Arno tells us the door code. We're gonna spend a few hours here and then get back out into the city.
Lyonnais tacos for the first time.
French tacos.
How do I even pick this thing up? Oh my god. Okay, look at that hat.
So this is a taco.
This is a French taco, and they're just covered it in cheese.
It's not a taco.
It's good. Wrapping up our day, got our French tacos, and I just want to hear, what are some of your big takeaways from today?
We both went to the Carlton for the Cannes Immersive competition. We both went to see Vu P, which is a 20-minute XR immersive piece. It was not that memorable. It was well made, I guess. I'll test another immersive work called Lucido later on, but right now I'm not stoked. I feel like last year there was some better options.
Wasn't that interactive either?
Yes, yeah.
2 circles in your hands, grabbing things, and that's it.
What are you guys excited for tomorrow?
Fast and Furious.
Teenage Sex and Death.
Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. That's gotta be my most anticipated.
Shout out to Koji Fukada.
And yeah, that's our day. This is gonna be a video that is not, this is not the whole video. This is just the beginning. We're gonna do two days on this one because nothing happened today except Pan's Labyrinth. So I guess I'll see you in the morning. It is day 2 of the festival, and we are about to see Butterfly Jam, the new Cantemir Balagov film, starring Barry Keoghan, shot by Jomo Frey. This is the opening of the CANNES program. Hopes are high for the CANNES this year. The lineup for the CANNES, I'd say arguably looks as good, if not better, than parts of the competition. I think you could swap half of the CANNES lineup for the competition.
It's not necessarily as high profile.
Yes.
Like the auteurs are newer or they're a little bit more cutting edge, but on their face, the lineup looks like it could be very qualitative.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
Anyways, that's all from me this morning. Talk to you after Butterfly Jam. Butterfly Jam, the opening film of the CANNES, the Director's Fortnight program this year, was unfortunately a pretty big disappointment for me. This is a film that I was highly anticipating, largely because I love Jomo Frey, the cinematographer of this film. Shot Nickel Boys, which I think is arguably some of the best work behind the camera of the past 20 years. First thing I'll say is, there's no gripe here with Jomo Frey's work in this. The film looks really good. Butterfly Jam is a clean-looking, very nice-looking film. The problems with this movie mostly come from its screenplay, which is tonally messy, doesn't really come together in something coherent, and takes some twists and turns that are sloppy, to say it nicely, I guess. It goes so far into something so shocking and disgusting that it actually becomes funny in a really twisted way. To talk a little bit about what this film is, Butterfly Jam is a story of a Circassian community in New Jersey from the Caucasus region of Russia, this sort of diaspora that has formed in New Jersey. It's a real community in Newark. What Cantemir Balagov actually said, this film was meant to be shot in Russia, but when the war began, he left Russia. He decided to pivot this film to be about an immigrant community of Russians. The film follows this community and specifically follows a father and son. Barry Keoghan plays a chef and a very proud father, a very young father of a 16-year-old boy who is a prodigy wrestler. It's a film that is sort of examining, in a hyper-masculine community such as this Russian immigrant community, can a man show vulnerability without it being perceived as weakness by others in that community? A lot of the film is about masculinity, about dominance, and that's a little bit where this film dips into some territory that I don't know if I would say it takes it too far, but it definitely just doesn't quite stick the landing. Also, I really feel like the movie wants to be more in a realm of magical realism than it actually ends up being. The way that Balagov talks about the film, he says that it's meant to be like a fairy tale, and frankly, that's just not there in this. Outside of a few scenes, like there's a pelican that's adopted, which is sort of like a bit of a magical realism element to it. There's just a lot of things that feel like they wanted to go further than they actually did. the film as a whole just doesn't quite gel. Now, one thing I will say really did connect for me is Barry Keoghan's performance. I think famously have not been much of a fan of Barry Keoghan in the past, outside of a few roles. I think Bird is his best work to date, and Butterfly Jam is very much in the same realm as Bird. In both films, he plays this young father who has this sort of immature energy to him, who clearly wants to be this great father, wants to be good, but he's still a child himself in a lot of ways. He's just so perfectly cast in that type of role, and someone who is trying their best and just kind of slightly failing. I loved his energy in this, and anytime he's not on screen, I think the film really suffers for it. Overall, some good elements to this one, but it's a bit of a miss. Now, it's middle of the day. I've got a little bit of time. I think I'm gonna meet up with another friend quickly, and then I'm gonna be seeing In Waves in just a little bit, which is the opening film of the Critics Week. I'm here with another friend at the festival. This is Antonio. And Antonio, I wanna know, what are you most looking forward to at Cannes this year?
Well, there's a lot of stuff to check out, but I think Hope from Na Hong Jin is that's intriguing me the most. It's apparently like South Korea's highest budgeted live action movie with a mix of like a Hollywood and South Korean cast. So honestly, that's probably the one.
And do you have a prediction for what's gonna win the Palm?
I think this might be the year where the neon streak breaks. I think they're probably going to give it to Fatherland.
Fatherland. Okay, good prediction.
It's fine.
In Waves is the first film by animator Phuong Mei Nguyen. It's based on a graphic novel written by the person who is the main character in the film. AJ is a teenager, he's a skater, an Asian American kid living in Los Angeles whose life sort of changes when he meets Kristen, another teenager who is a surfer living in the area. As the two of them fall in love, get into a relationship, Kristen is diagnosed with cancer. But AJ, in the meantime, falls in love with surfing, pursues his love of drawing, all while helping Kristen get through this deadly diagnosis. It's no secret from the start that this is dedicated to someone who has passed. There's really no thought throughout, is she going to survive? Because the very existence of this piece of art sort of tells you things aren't going to work out perfectly in the end. And a lot of this is a really beautiful tribute. But with that said, there's something about it that feels like it lacks a little bit of reflection. It's almost too direct of an autobiography, where so much of this film is just people telling AJ how great he is at things. It feels like there's a little bit of vanity paired in with the really heartfelt tribute to a lost loved one. Something about this and the writing of it, the way that things sort of play out, the way that, despite the fact that there's conflict really baked into the story, things are resolved very quickly, and the pacing goes by way too quick. Things just happen, and a lot of the time things that have massive consequences are kind of just passed over like nothing. Months fly by in the span of like 30 seconds. The screenplay for this one is really rough, and it feels, oh god, I hate to say it, it feels like something that would have been written by a high schooler. That feels really rough to say, but a lot of it just lacks a sort of development, a sort of reflection that I think comes with experience, comes with age. It's just, in the writing at least, not a very mature work. But the animation of this film is astounding. This is one of the most visually stunning animated movies that I've seen in a very long time. It's reminiscent of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This gorgeous mix of 2D and 3D animation, hand-drawn elements, cell shading to make it kind of fit into a 3D textured world. This gorgeous mixture of mediums that comes together to be genuinely like, I don't know how this was made as an independent animated film. Most studio animated movies do not succeed at looking this beautiful. It's just such a shame that a movie that looks this stunning is paired with a script that needed so much work. It's just a waste of potential because there are so many elements of it that are just through the roof stunning, like masterpiece level good. But then it's alongside something that just could have been fixed. 10 out of 10 visuals, 4 out of 10 writing. And I think that's gonna leave me right in the middle there. And with that, I've now seen a film from the Director's Fortnight, from the Critics Week, but I've yet to see a film from competition. Nagy Notes just played. I'll be seeing that tomorrow. But I am off to see the press screening of Charlene Bourgeois-Taquet's film, A Woman's Life. I just recently watched Charlene Bourgeois-Taquet's film, Anaïs in Love, which really surprised me. I thought it was a lovely little movie. I thought it was so much fun. And so my hopes for this one have been lifted up. So I will talk to you after the movie.
It's fine.
I just got out of A Woman's Life. Now I'm standing in front of the absurdly long line for Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. This film stars Léa Drucker. She plays a surgeon who, her life kind of changes when an author comes to profile her, sort of watch what she does for work. And this surgeon who has a bit of a problem with her work-life balance, she's always on the job doing nothing but taking calls, setting meetings, going into surgeries. She sort of starts to reevaluate what her life should look like when she meets this woman who comes to profile her. And it becomes a bit of a love story, but it's not only a love story. There's a lot more going on in her life. She's also dealing with a sick mother. She's dealing with a marriage that's sort of crumbling under the weight of her job. This film is structured into a chapter format to sort of mirror the fact that it's about the writing of a book. And it doesn't always work in the chapter format, mostly because the chapters can be absurdly short. Some of the chapters can be 10-15 minutes long. Other chapters can be like 2 or 3 minutes, and it's sort of comical that they just stop. But aside from the chapter format of this that can kind of be a little bit structurally messy, this movie's pretty sweet. It doesn't do anything that shocked me. It just does what it does well. The character is interesting to watch. She's going through a sort of professional midlife crisis, like sort of dealing with this crisis in all aspects of her life at the same time. The line's starting to move, so I'm going to come in here. Antonio, Ryan Castleman, Arnaud. All right, I'm finishing off my A Woman's Life review.
Is it as
Plays
lesbian fanfic as Anaïs in Love?
elements. There's a little bit of Yuri in this one, but not enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
Just
we
making
need more.
sure that it should be on my watch list.
Overall, pretty decent movie. It's not one that I'd like rush to, but it was sweet. It was sweet. It was nice.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah.
What have you seen so far?
I've seen the one you were just talking about.
Yep.
I saw Butterfly Jam.
What did you think of that one? Because I know Arnaud and I both saw that.
I didn't mind it too much. I thought it was better than what people are saying it is, personally.
Likewise,
A little
yeah.
better. You saw Bird? Did you ever see that movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very similar, right?
Very. I mean, it's a very similar character to Bird. It's like the sort of immature father who's just doing his best, but kind of failing.
There's a moment in the movie where the movie takes a turn. We won't give it away. But I was okay with the turn.
Yeah.
After the turn, then the movie started to kind of lose me, and I wanted it to.
I thought that the turn was okay. I thought after the turn,
That's
it
exactly
became a little bit comical in a way.
Unintentionally funny.
Unintentionally funny. Harry Melling kind of plays like a Tim Robinson character.
That's the one. I mean, that's the one scene I object to in the second half.
So, Ryan, I've already talked to Arno about this. I've talked to Antonio about this. What film are you most anticipating at the festival?
You know what? One that I'm actually anticipating is Coward.
Mm.
I just think something about that one, that when I read about it, it sounds interesting to me. I saw Close like a couple months ago, and that was I was blown away by that movie. I can't believe I hadn't seen it before. But yeah, I love that film. So that's the one I'm looking forward to.
And what is your pick for the Palm right now?
Oh, my pick for the Palm. Gosh. I'll just go with Coward. Who cares? I'm not a coward.
Go with it. Roll with it. Stick with it.
Oh, sorry.
All right, time for Teenage Sex and Death.
Wow.
Well, day 2, and we already have the first masterpiece of the festival, in my opinion. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, Jane Schoenbrun's new film, the follow-up to I Saw the TV Glow, and in my opinion, even better than I Saw the TV Glow. This is a comedy horror film. I mean, it's not really a horror movie. It's like a meta deconstruction of horror. There is no horror in this movie. It is a comedy about a filmmaker who, after a Sundance hit, has been commissioned to, or is being courted by the studio to make a remake in the Camp Miasma series of films. This is sort of like a Friday the 13th style series. And essentially, this movie was a huge hit in the 80s. They made 10 sequels of it, and progressively they got worse and worse and worse. It's now a dead IP. The studio is trying to revive it, and they want a young, woke, queer filmmaker to tackle this film and make it less problematic. And so in comes our main character, who is infected with the woke mind virus, and she takes herself a little bit too seriously. But in preparation to pitch the film to the studio, she has set up a meeting with the original final girl of the series. She starred in the original film and then kind of disappeared, and now she lives in the middle of nowhere. And so the film sort of follows 3 days of a connection between this director and this reclusive actor that she wants to join the movie. And the film is really a two-hander from there, kind of bouncing between the strange connection, the strange sort of psychosexual interplay between these two women and the actual film that they're talking about. They spend a lot of time watching the movies. They spend a lot of time talking about the movies, the fake Camp Miasma series. This is a very hard movie to describe, not because I'm worried about spoiling anything, but because there's so many layers here. There's so many strange elements of the plot, so many strange detours that this takes. It's a very difficult film to put a finger on exactly what it is. And I feel like every 5 minutes in the movie, I was going, oh, that's what this is about. Oh, that's what this is about. No, that's what this is about. And, you know, it sort of bounced around for me what this film really was. And ultimately, in the end, I don't know if I can put my finger on one thing that this movie is about. But I think it's about all of them. This is an incredibly layered metatextual examination of the horror genre, about sexuality on film, about the gaze, about the way that it feels to look at a character on screen and want to be them, the way that it feels to almost leave your body and wish that you were inhabiting the eyes of another. It's a film about sexuality on screen. I mean, when it talks about teenage sex and death, the emphasis is on the sex. This is a film about sexuality, about discomfort within one's body, discomfort within one's sexuality. It's a film that tackles the big topics, but with a really intimate, very personal, and very funny approach. It's campy, it's weird, it uses matte paintings and backdrops and miniatures in a really fun way. It's goofy all the way through, and it's made with such love. It's one I'm going to be thinking about throughout the entire festival. It was enchanting, it was strange, and it was really funny. I just had a blast. I had a total blast with this film. People much smarter than me are going to come along and write many, many words about this, and I will read as many of them as I possibly can. It left me with more questions than answers, and I think that's the best thing that any movie can do. Great news, everyone. I've just run into Christian here, the drawer of all of those fantastic Oscar drawings, which I'll put on screen right now. So Christian, this is our second year together at Cannes. I want to hear, what are you most looking forward to at the festival?
Well, as a Norwegian, I kind of have to say Fjord. It's supposed to be more Norwegian than I anticipated. So
Do you know anyone who's seen it yet?
Yes, I do.
And you actually get to be here to see it this time, because last year you had to leave before Sentimental Value.
That's right. So I'll be planning on seeing Fjord.
Oh, we're moving. We're moving.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk later, Christian. Thank you. About to be my first time this year walking the red carpet.
Et le voilà qui sort. Vin Diesel est à Cannes.
Are we ready for family?
Of course. First time.
First time also.
First time. All three of us.
We're gonna discover family finally.
It is currently 12:20.
Movie was supposed to start
11:45.
35 minutes ago.
Vin Diesel has just been out on the red carpet meeting everyone.
He's just about to enter the room. Finally. He's milking.
Vin, please. Please, Vin, for family. Come and sit down, please. Vin, we're begging you. Please.
Pretty good.
And we just exited from the Fast and the Furious with Vin Diesel, who took... This was supposed to end at like 1:30. What time is it now?
It's 2:20.
It's gonna hurt tomorrow.
And we still have 20-minute walk.
20-minute walk, and then have to get ready for bed and everything, but oh my god. All right, both of our first time seeing Fast and the Furious. Arno did have to leave to rush and get Artine his keys. But first take, what are we thinking, Pierre?
The movie is bullshit, and that's why we like it.
It's very solid bullshit.
Yeah.
But I think the whole series, so you haven't seen any of the other ones?
I've seen like Fast 7 when it came out because it
Right.
was just one.
Yeah.
It made $1 million, and it was like Paul Walker last movie.
He just died
Yeah.
before Furious 7. I never saw that one. I saw Fast 5 and I saw Fast and Furious 6. And so my exposure to the series was like they're dragging a safe around and they're like on an airport racing a plane. It reminds me of watching the 1996 Mission Impossible, where it's like it's very low key for most of it, and you're like, how did we go from this to
like taking a car from a cliff with, with a hook?
Yeah, how did we go from this to that? And so Fast and Furious, the first one is like a big how did we get to they're driving cars in space?
And there's not that lot of cars in it.
No.
Like
no.
Maybe 40 minutes of the 100 minutes that the movie offers.
Yeah, but honestly, I think it has a solid foundation to it. It really establishes this group, and you do kind of get to feel why this cop would want to protect them, would want to be on their side. Dom Toretto, great character. This is what a blockbuster is meant to be, and
the crowd was eating it up.
The crowd was electric. What a great way to see the Fast and the Furious for the first time.
Discover it.
Vin Diesel seemed like he was about to cry in the introduction. He was like, I can't believe so many people are out here at midnight for a 25-year-old movie. This was his moment. This was his night. It was really lovely. I think I'm going to end the video here because I'll start with the next day or two from this point. But thank you so much for watching. As always, my name's Matt. That's PA. This has been Fantasy Filmball.
Ciao.